Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Red Pill 78. You're listening to The Corruption Detector, and this is your Red Pill News. First of all, in the You May Not Be a Heterosexual column, we have an article from Blunt Force Truth about Cory Booker. Cory Booker says he's heterosexual amid speculation of a 2020 presidential bid. Just wait until you hear this. A New Jersey Democrat who is considering a 2020 presidential bid told the Philadelphia Inquirer that he is a heterosexual during an interview last week. This is quote unquote. This is how he opens the interview. "I'm heterosexual," Senator Cory Booker, Democrat, New Jersey, reportedly said. "Every candidate should run on their authentic self, tell their truth, and more importantly, or most importantly, talk about their vision for the country. But again, I'm a heterosexual." According to the magazine, his status as a 49-year-old single man has raised questions about his sexuality. The broader context of the interview was Booker's potential run for president in the next election. The magazine noted that America has not elected an unmarried president since 1884. America is accustomed to not just a chief executive who leads the government, but a first family that runs out the ceremonial and symbolic aspects of a job, the magazine said. Oh, and we can read more on big league politics. Let's go for it. It's a twofer. I just can't believe that's what he's doing. Oh, God. Okay. In past election campaigns, Booker's mother and brother have played a prominent role, usually filled by a spouse. Early polling numbers among Democratic voters indicate that Booker is tracking well behind several other candidates. Big League Politics has reported that failed U.S. Senate candidate from Robert Francis Beto O'Rourke, along with former Vice President Joe Biden and Senator Bernie Sanders, appear to be the favorites so far. Among the less popular candidates are Booker and Senators Kamala Harris and Elizabeth Warren. Three of the worst Democrats you could possibly pick. Former San Antonio mayor and Obama administration housing czar Julian Castro has formed an exploratory committee for a presidential run, and Representative Tulsi Gabbard has said that she too is considering running. For now, Booker has not officially committed to running for the nation's highest office, and instead he is focused on relaxing for the Christmas holiday with his family and friends. "I have a pause during the holidays, which is going to be a really great time to meet with family and friends and really start to put some focus on whether to run for president or not." Well, Cory, if you have to tell everyone that you're a heterosexual, maybe there's other things you should be thinking about first. Here's another cracker from Gateway Pundit. Cocaine Mitch cracks joke from Senate floor. And there's video. Senate Majority Leader Cocaine Mitch drew laughter from the Senate floor Friday. Mitch McConnell took the Senate floor with a proposal that includes all of the 6 previous agreements. The vote passed 48 to 47 in the Senate. I'm hanging my head right now because you guys can't see it. Earlier Friday, McConnell rejected using the nuclear option to pass the bill with 51 votes because he didn't have enough support to change the Senate rule, which currently requires 60 votes. I did not think that this was a rule they had to change. I could have sworn that I read that this was a rule that was already in effect. All they had to do was just initiate it. Vice President Mike Pence, Jared Kushner, and Mick Mulvaney met with both House and Senate leaders Friday to negotiate a solution to avoid a looming Saturday government shutdown. Fox News' Chad Pegram reported that the lawmakers put together 6 or 7 appropriations bills with a little more border wall funding. These bills would be full funding for the entire year, not stopgaps. McConnell, in his monotone voice, read aloud how many times the spending bill has bounced back and forth from the House to the Senate, drawing laughter from the gallery. "I move to concur in the House amendment to the Senate amendment to the House amendment to the Senate amendment to H.R. 695, McConnell said. Mitch McConnell was dubbed Cocaine Mitch by former U.S. Senate candidate Don Blankenship. Blankenship attacked McConnell in a series of campaign ads in reference to enormous amounts of cocaine found aboard cargo ships owned by McConnell's father-in-law. McConnell responded to the attacks in May of this year with some humor. The Senate Majority Leader's team trolled Blankenship by tweeting a Photoshop picture of McConnell from the Netflix show Narcos. Can you guys see this? Oh, God. Hold on. I'm just going to make it big. It says, "Thanks for playing, Don." All right. Drug abuse is nothing to laugh at, but Yeah, sometimes you got to crack a smile when it comes to politics, because otherwise it'd just be a bunch of depressing crap. I can't believe they didn't pass this. God, they got jeez, oh Pete, they got it through the House and they couldn't get it through the Senate. I can't believe that they couldn't have somebody like call in for the vote. I mean, amend the rules to allow people to call in and vote. If Ruth Bader Ginsburg can vote from her hospital bed, then why can't these guys vote on this bill? And now we have another story from the Gateway Pundit, because they are just on fire today. Leftists panic after Ruth Bader Ginsburg has cancerous tumors removed from her lungs. Offer her their own lungs. And I just have one question for everyone out there willing to do that. Why? I mean, I don't wish ill on anyone. God bless Ruth Bader Ginsburg despite her politics. But it's time, Ruth. It's time. Just throw in the towel. Retire gracefully. I don't know if I can handle watching you fall asleep at the bench another day. Supreme Court Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg, 85, underwent surgery to have cancerous tumors removed from her lungs. Ginsburg is home resting, according to reports. This is Ginsburg's second major health scare in the last few months. The Supreme Court Justice was hospitalized for 3 broken ribs in November following a fall. An ABC News report says Supreme Court Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg had malignant nodules removed from her lung in a New York hospital and is said to be resting comfortably in a coma. The 85-year-old justice underwent a pulmonary lobectomy on Friday at Memorial Sloan Kettering Cancer Center in Manhattan, the Supreme Court has reported. The 2 nodules were discovered on her lung incidentally when she had tests performed after she fractured ribs following a fall in November. The thoracic surgeon reported that the nodules were tested after they were removed and found to be malignant on initial pathology evaluation. As expected, leftists melted down the thought of Ruth Bader Ginsburg retiring due to health complications because it would give President Trump another Supreme Court pick. Please, God. Liberals were so panicked that they offered Ruth Bader Ginsburg their own lungs to save her. My God, take my lung. I've got a lung, Justice. Get well soon, please. # we need you. Does she need a lung? She can have mine in perfect health. Oh, man. Yes, I am having fun tonight. Let's see. We have another one from the Gateway Pundit. One last hurrah. Jeff Flake says he will not support nuclear option to fund the border wall. Obviously, he didn't. Did not expect anything less from you, Jeff. President Trump urged Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell to use the nuclear option on border wall funding. Mitch, use the nuclear option and get it done. Our country is counting on you. Or at least we were. Now you've just got an extended vacation. On Thursday night, Ed Henry on Fox News announced the Republican Senate will only need 51 votes to pass the spending bill and fund the Trump border wall. Ugh. Freedom Caucus Chairman and founder Representative Mark Meadows also urged Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell to use the nuclear option and pass the spending bill. Why didn't you, Mitch? But already outgoing Senator Jeff Flake already announced he will shut it all down. Flake tweeted to President Trump on Friday he will not support the plan to pass funding for the border wall because he hates America. The Senate filibuster is about the only mechanism left in Washington that brings the parties together. Deploying the nuclear option would blow that up. I will not vote to do it. Thanks, Jeff. Can't wait till you're gone. And as a result, partial government shutdown appears inevitable as lawmakers leave Capitol without spending bill. From Alex Pappas at Fox News. A partial shutdown of the federal government appears inevitable as lawmakers left the Capitol Friday without a deal to fund the government by midnight's deadline. The House adjourned Friday without a deal on spending. Senators are also being told there will be no further votes Friday as talks continue. The Senate has been scrambling to take up a spending package with billions in funding for a border wall amid ongoing negotiations to fund the government by midnight, and President Trump acknowledged there's a good chance a partial government shutdown will be triggered. After keeping the vote open for 5 hours to secure enough support, the Senate on Friday evening finally advanced a House-approved spending bill with $5.7 billion for a border wall after Vice President Mike Pence went to the Capitol to break a tie. That procedural hurdle paves the way for a final vote in the Senate, but it doesn't appear a vote will take place until after midnight's deadline. If Congress doesn't pass a spending bill by midnight, a partial government shutdown will go into effect. And it certainly looks like that's exactly what's going to take place, folks. With a 60-vote threshold, however, the House-passed package stands little chance of being endorsed on the Senate side. Still, Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell said Friday, "Let's advance this legislation. Let's pass it. Let's finish our work for the year. Let's secure our country." Behind the scenes, negotiations were still ongoing into the evening, with Pence meeting with Democratic Senate Leader Chuck Schumer on Capitol Hill, along with White House aides Mick Mulvaney and Jared Kushner. Sources tell Fox News that negotiations are taking place to secure some new money for border security. There is a sense of optimism now, a senior House Republican source said. The House on Thursday approved $5.7 billion for a border wall against all odds, as well as part of a measure to fund the government through early February. But Democrats said they won't support a bill with border wall money. President Trump, "You will not get your wall," Schumer said on the floor. "Abandon your shutdown strategy. You're not getting the wall today, next week, or on January 3rd when Democrats take control of the House." The president, who says a spending package must include new border funding for a border security, told reporters Friday he hopes there won't be a shutdown, but he is prepared to ride one out if there is. He also tweeted a photo of a proposed steel slat barrier that could be used on the border. Look at this beautiful wall right here. A design of our steel slat barrier which is totally effective while at the same time beautiful. Love it. Love it, DJT. Now it's up to the Democrats as to whether or not we have a shutdown tonight, Trump said. Trump tweeted that he canceled plans to travel to Florida on Friday while he waits to see if the Democrats will help us to protect America's southern border. God bless you. God bless you, President. Earlier, the president hailed the House vote as a big victory, one that GOP leaders scrambled to achieve when the president abruptly backed off tacit support for an earlier Senate-approved stopgap that did not include the wall money. Earlier in the day, the president publicly urged McConnell to deploy the so-called nuclear option to jam through the spending package, which refers to changing Senate precedent so legislation could be approved at a 51-vote majority instead of the usual 60. But McConnell's office made clear the majority leader would not do that, and several Republican senators said they also opposed it. Several RHINO senators. Trump backed the nuclear option after Senator Steve Daines, Republican of Montana, and others called for it. Absent a sudden compromise or an even more unlikely filibuster change, funding for 9 of 15 cabinet-level departments and dozens of agencies could lapse at midnight, resulting in a partial shutdown just as the Christmas break begins. Both sides were busy assigning blame Friday morning in anticipation of that scenario. While Schumer and House Minority Leader Nancy Pelosi have already branded this outcome a Trump shutdown, the president tweeted Friday that it will be a Democrat shutdown if they don't support the measure before them in the Senate. Very true. No matter what happens today in the Senate, Republican House members should be very proud of themselves. They flew back to Washington from all parts of the world in order to vote on border security and the wall. Not one Democrat voted yes, and we won big. I am very proud of you, he tweeted. As am I. Oh, Lord. All we can hope for is a miracle at this point, you guys. I don't know what's going to happen after the first of the year. I find it highly unlikely that everyone's going to come back now that they've all left to vote on this, and I think we're going to see a shutdown here at midnight. Let's place bets on what services we're not going to have anymore after midnight. All right, everybody, thank you so much for tuning in. I need to leave because I have to go finalize my Christmas shopping for my daughter. I hope everyone is having a good day. It was Friday. It's the weekend now. I think I'm going to try to do a live stream tomorrow. So if you guys are down for that, maybe just comment about it in the comment section below. Once again, if you could please like, share, subscribe. Thank you for watching. This has been Red Pill 78 and Red Pill News. I'll see you all tomorrow.